we were talking about top-down approach for enterprise. So if you're working for enterprise or leading one, possibly you are aware about something like this already in your organization. But I changed my title from CEO to Chief AI Officer because that is what I do most of the time. Just before Gen AI, there was no Chief AI Officer title officially. So you can see the role of a Chief AI Officer who understands all quadrant very well, including business, AI in deep, have a deep understanding of it. So that's from the leadership and talent perspective. You need AI engineers, service provider, domain expert. You need platforms to look at from the enterprise point of view. LLMs are new platforms like ChatGPT and GPT in general. Data engineering. So those are from the establishment of AI readiness requirement to get into the AI development phase. From the strategy point of view, you need to have very clear understanding of what you're looking, which is for every business and every use case for any product building. Pick the most 3 impactful use cases, prepare an implementation plan, and then have a demonstration of impactful result built in some form. So that's the governance model and strategy model. Towards the end, I was talking about the RAG. RAG is retrieve, augment, generate. This is how AI apps are built in general. So how do you measure the accuracy of RAG? It's a process, right? You go through initial, I will talk more detail, but initial building process where you put your input, vectorize the data, you do your semantic search. Throughout that process, you fine-tune your model. And then from there, RHS, reinforcement, human interface learning, which is what, when you prompt ChatGPT, what does it do behind the scene? When you give an input, it runs from your input and corrects the model. So that's how you improve the accuracy. So from an entrepreneurial perspective, you don't need to go this detail if you're a leader. You have to understand some concepts behind it and how does it work. So this is a full scope kind of a requirement before you get into the building part of Gen AI applications. RAG, I'll talk more detail. The other question which comes is build versus borrow. So any application you are going to build in generative, architecture will look quite similar to what you are seeing here. So you will need data selection source. You will need some exploratory analysis, data engineering work, some synthesis and some consolidation. You will need some scaling part of it. So this right-hand side model development, which you are saying, is a ChatGPT encoder, decoder, GAN model. GPT, BERT, multi-model and diffusion models are using this kind of an architecture. So the question is which one you need to pick, where do you pick from, what kind of open sources are available, what kind of money goes into building this kind of things. Should you rebuild the whole thing or you can lease it, rent it or use an open source. I'll talk more detail around that. So build or borrow factor. So when you build or customize large language model versus fine-tuning pre-trained model, let's say you're building from scratch your own GAN, and we know how long it took ChatGPT and money to come up with. So it's very involved, several months, millions of cost. The real infrastructure cost is also crazy, resource incentive versus fine-tuning it. So fine-tuning pre-trained models, that's where I think the bigger opportunity is, but enterprises are building their own. Apple came up with their own large language models. The big guys are. It takes less than a month, which may not be a true statement, but for prototyping, it can be true. Less than 500K for prototyping, it can be true. 50 gigabit byte to 7 giga parameters. 7 billion parameters now with Apple chips and other new chips, it's getting much better. Third party can be involved like ours, already done model for you. So those kind of things you can consider when you try to build your application. Now, application maturity process. For me, it's hard to talk if we don't know RAG. So I'll just explain you what is RAG before I talk about the maturity part. RAG is a process where retrieve, augment, generate. So what does it does? When you prompt to ChatGPT, you are giving an input in a message format So there is one sentence which is formed, sentence you put, and there are sentence A, B, C. So first sentence is converted into word to vector, which is a number system. And second and third sentences are, we call word embedding. So what's the correlationship between first, second, and third sentences? Those are embedding models. So once you do the embedding, then you build a template out of that. Extra step will be building a template inside, going through the large language model, and then defining a mechanism to do a semantic search. And after semantic search, you will be having a process to bring the data back to your bot. So this whole process is called RAG. In very 1 minute description kind of a deal I explain you. So scoping of embedding, short prompts, what kind of, and retrieval prompts, recursive prompts we have to define. The behind the scene technology, Lemma Index and LangChain, and there are a couple of new which are coming. There are also tools which is no code kind of a deal, where you can literally drag drop these things. I do not know how accurate they are, but they are coming. Like Langflow is one of them. Langsmith is for deployment, where you can literally, for a new entrepreneur who does not want to code and wants to get a feel before it outsource it, you can play around it. So scope is retrain, fine-tune the large language model, use an existing pre-trained model and customize it. So these are the way how your model will perform and improve upon. Enterprise development, if you are from an enterprise side, this is the stack where we can help you. You have already some kind of an application. In our case, we have real estate, healthcare, and fashion, all three applications pre-built, and we have to redo our Gen AI part. So which is a bot kind of a deal for us, where I'm inserting right now what you saw in the real estate application, something which is complementing the core business of evaluation, and also giving ability to agents and investors to analyze the properties in a very fast way. So that's the bot side of it. And we did LLM integration, diffusion metrics, and all those knowledge base. So this is what your enterprise, if you are reinventing something in enterprise, this is where it will come. Possibly you have a lot of applications already working and built. And then from here, we come inside here and do this thing. And these are the tools which our platform is operating: recursive prompting, session memories, complex business logic flows, data ingestion with AT plus integration, and private development and risk of governance, we take care of it. So, this one I want to talk. So here you can see I have organization data which is at risk, which is not like Horizon Bank. I don't want to disclose. I don't want to disclose the client name. I don't want to disclose the amount which I'm using in the data training process. So using ChatGPT, OpenAI, what we do is synthetic prompt generation, where we'll take all this original data and we'll replace with synthetic data. So if you see, the Aurora holding is changed to Stella holding, the Horizon Bank is changed to Central Bank, and this is how we protect your data and also generate synthetic data throughout this process. So it's a data, but it's not the real data, but it has all the features of current data. So this is kind of changes we are doing to build these models. So to achieve the highest level, this is how RAG will work for you. Couple of the models we use internally for medical. Open models are these ones: GPT, PAN, for medical, BioBot, DeepMind, PubMed. I'll show you one medical application too while I'm doing this. So this is a medical application we built for detecting some problem in your skin. Let's see. I may have to relaunch the application in a minute. It's running from my laptop because of the memory issues. So see, it gives me the description of this image. Shows the height, half of the face is something young individual, readiness, swallowing. Next step is healthcare care, take him to clinical evaluation. And this is a dumbed down version of it. But if I run it for let's say an expert level, I'm 5 years old kind of a deal. If I run it for expert level, it will give me a different output. This shows a clear, sorry, I reran it. Red swallow and surrounding the mouth swallow, and it gives you some medical terms. So it's just interesting. These applications are again built on RAG and whatever I showed you. I can show you one more for the eye detection, retina. It's slow. I'm running on my local laptop, which is, it gave you a full description of accurate diagnosis, examination of OCT, necessary medical history, blah, blah, blah. I don't know the medical terms, so I'm trying to quickly read it. So now these are some applications. Third one, I have a sales application I'll open to you guys, but I can open for Q&A because it's all about knowing each other and trying to help each other. I will make you unable to talk. I'm making everyone unable to talk. Anyone, anything? Well, you can speak up.
Arsad, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. But thank you.
Did you say your 3 industries that you've worked on is in medical, fashion, and what was the third one?
Real estate.
Real estate. Have you made any applications within the B2B industrial space, particularly on the commercial side?
You mean commercial real estate?
No, industrial manufacturing.
No. I was brought in for a supplier of SpaceX, and they were having, this was pure AI, not Gen AI. They were having some problem in terms of the accuracy, the quality of the parts measurement, and they wanted to do an image recognition to see the diffusion, like how accurate the production is. We did a prototype and gave it to them. The other one was from Philippines. It was a prototype for traffic, how many people are crossing the traffic light and how many people are on the pedal or the bike, those kind of things. So what kind of industrial application you're trying to, what is your use case?
It's industrial equipment. So visual analysis of defective parts.
Mm-hmm.
While industrial, you have equipment in the field that you might want to test through sound or through image recognition, things like that, right? So if I have, if I put, let's say, my phone next to a piece of equipment and it sends to the RPMs or whatever the motor is, and it can detect an issue, I'm sure that that capability exists. If you can do the image, you can do sound analysis.
Yeah. Sorry, I did not tell you. For G, that's what they asked us to take the sound wave of the machines and predict the failure. It was given to us because they're G, right? Just the experimental part of the sound wave and predict or show the difference of the wave. So we were able to assist them in that too. So both image recognition is easy. It's not complicated at all. Easy in terms of as long as I have the data. The sound was a little bit challenging because they also have Navy and G, all these guys, they have different level of, one of the sounds we saw was underwater sound of the same frequency as same machine. So that was a little bit complicated, but that's how they used us. But I don't know myself the detail of that project. Specific segments were given to me, and that's what I did. The SpaceX contractor was here in Anaheim, and they gave us more inside visibility. But we just did a prototyping, and this was 2018 and 19. But I can definitely help to put more thoughts into. No problem. You can.
Yeah, I'll be reaching out to you with some other ideas.
Sure. Thank you for asking. That's interesting. Yeah, we have a few more minutes, guys. Anyway, go in there.
Arshad, what about the commercial application of AI, predictive analysis on the sales side, right? If I have customers that have been buying at a certain frequency and then all of a sudden they dip and there's a propensity or a risk of churn or them leaving based off of the data inputs, whether they're buying or their buying habits have dipped. If I give you the data set from the ERP, you can develop an AI predictive model on commercial activity based off.
Yeah. That's very standard thing to do. From if you have the data, then you have what kind of ERP you have?
It's multiple ERPs. I'm a consultant, so it could be Oracle, right?
Okay, yeah. As long as we have the labeled data, so use cases are labeled data. We know buyer, non-buyer, right, state. So that's not the challenge. But let's say there are seasonal products, right? I've done this before. So seasonal products which get discontinued upon sites. Or there's like say Northern California have like a lot of cold right now, right? And it can also lift the sales for certain items, or it can drop for certain items for sure, right? Those kinds of things can also be measured through generative AI now. You can attach the demographic, you can attach the cultural part of it, you can attach the interest of it, more than the direct prediction of label data. Does it make sense?
Yeah. So as long as I provide you with structured data and we have the IDs that are associated with whatever product or whatever quotes, you're able to add in a kind of a predictive model into your solution.
Sure. Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's straight.
I have to go, but I'll be giving you a ring, Rashad, you and your group.
Good. Thank you. Awesome. Nice seeing you. I have a few more questions.
Hi, I have my questions and the Q&A about in your company, you have different large LLM models used. So why are you using different one, and why you use one over the other?
So the bigger scope of it is like, let's say if you like ChatGPT, you can use it for content generation, image generation, all of it, right? So that's one way to look at it. But there are specific language translator is T5 model, right? Image to word to image is another model. So why I'm using different models? Number one is for the specific use case for medical, like BioBert is very well trained. PebMud is very well trained. So they have specific use cases. So we, based on the parameters and the training they have been pre-trained, we pick those models rather than going for a generic one. That's number one. Number two, the cost, right? There is Hugging Faces community. If you are aware about that, Hugging Faces?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hugging Faces.
Yeah. So, there are a lot of open source models, right? You can depend upon what the requirement to use it is. You can train it and fine tune for yourself. Literally, if you modified it enough, then it is kind of you build it, right? Doesn't
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
No asking, Paula. You are here or what?
That again?
Well, which city you are from?
Okay, from the Monterey, California.
Wow. Yeah, so I'm in Irvine, California. Yes. Also speaking. Yeah.
Arshad, hi, it's Omar. I left him a question as well. With the real estate GPT that you built in OpenAI's platform, you talked about hosting that externally. How difficult is that to export that bot to get it hosted externally and take it out of the ChatGPT platform?
Well, I'm doing it right now. It was for fun. I was trying it. So in real estate, we'll take it out very soon. Maybe a week, not more. Yeah. But the bigger question is this is like basic, right? 1 or 2. But what I'm trying to do is I'm on the real estate side, taking a land from any of the platforms and working on the usage of the land, the zoning part, the neighborhoods, and then predict the right uses and the right price and the opportunity. That's the major side of what we are doing. Our real estate side of, we built this in Asia for Singapore, Cambodia, and Thailand. It's different than US. We don't have proper zoning in those countries. So you can have a house, they call shop house. You can have a marketplace, you can have a school and a temple next to each other. And for some reason that property is not very high valued compared to something else, right? So from doers' point of view, what we did is we took the comparables, then we call something POI, point of interest. We took the local economy and the country GDP, was able to not only give the price of current year, but also future. So I'm trying to reconfigure this in the US market right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I was just curious because obviously the original intention for them is to build the GPTs in the OpenAI platform, right? But I've only heard of like some GPTs being exported out and hosted externally. So I'm just wondering from a technology point of view, how difficult that is.
It's for a company like me, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll always say and my team will get after me. Why you say like it can be done in 1 week? It takes more than that, but yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Thank you for asking me. This is exciting. So, where are you, Umar? Which part of the...
I'm in Southern California in Murrieta.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd love to follow up with you. I really enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you, Umar. Thank you. Nice. Okay. We are on top of the hour, but I'll take a few more questions. I have Akita, please maximize your browser. Kathleen, Umar. Thank you all for your time. If no further questions, we'll meet next time. This series will continue on building the business part of it too. So we'll present different use cases in the coming webinars too. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.